Hey everybody, it's Bumps of the Night. I don't usually do content like this per se, but I came across something just really interesting I wanted to share with you guys, so I'm going to take a crack at it. If you like this video, maybe leave me a comment, click the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and let me know to do more of these. And if not, that's okay, because I'm sure I'll have more regular content posted very soon. Either way, let's get into it. So I've got an interesting tale to tell today. It's not so much fiction as it is a sad reality. Before I get into it, I feel as though we should look back at a brief history of Goosebumps. Starting at the very beginning, we have the heyday when Goosebumps was untouchable. Between the early to mid 90s, it was so much more than just a fad. Once the books took the world by storm, the TV show followed suit, adding more flames to the ever-growing fire. From there, we had a spin-off series, the Give Yourself Goosebumps books, where the reader chooses the scare. Now we enter the late 90s, reaching the end of the original series. Goosebumps held its ground for years. Unfortunately, it started to slip from its heavyweight ranking. As the kids originally reading it grew older, Stein tried to up the ante and keep his audience interested. Enter the next millennia of fear, Goosebumps, the 2000 series. Even now, a scarier series wasn't enough to recreate the magic that surged in the early to mid-90s. After Scholastic's contract with Stein ended, which, if I'm not mistaken, was between 2001 and 2003, Goosebumps vanished. Well, sort of. The release of new stories stopped, however we got the Goosebumps Classics, reprints which re-released a large portion of the original 62, with altered art and a new colorful border. From there, Goosebumps resurged in 2008 with the Goosebumps Horrorland series. This ran till 2011 with a new style of art and bonus features which included Horrorland promos and interviews with Stein himself. We got more books after the Horrorland series ended. We followed up with a new series called Hall of Horrors, and after that ended we had another new series called Goosebumps Most Wanted. One by one these series were released between the early 2010s to the mid 2015 era. These new series slowly crept their way up to 2015, which enters the second renaissance of Goosebumps, with the Goosebumps movie being announced by Sony. Nostalgia ran rampant. Reprints started creeping their way onto shelves in stores. Even Target ran a short reprint of some of the classics with the art from the original series, such as A Shocker on Shock Street, The Blob That Ate Everything, and The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. And while we were in this time frame, social media had already taken off. Goosebumps fan pages and groups were popping up everywhere. And today we're here to talk about one group in particular. Goosebumps Buy, Sell, and Trade. You, however, may know it as the Goosebumps Swap and Shop. Yeah, that one. So recently there's been a small amount of buzz bringing life back into these communities, with the reboot of the series coming to Disney+. So naturally I check in on these Facebook pages now and again, and what I came across was not only shocking, but so insane I couldn't not share it with you. The unofficial, self-proclaimed King of Goosebumps has come under fire. Claims of fraud and theft have been recently made against the founder of the Goosebumps Swap and Shop page, Matt Vickers Copley. So here's the breakdown. We can see here on screen, someone had received 3 separate unauthorized transactions from the Swap and Shop storefront. These transactions occurred early in the morning, sometime between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Now it's possible this was a simple mistake on the Swap and Shop's part. Except this isn't the first time something like this involving the Swap and Shop has happened. As we look at the comments, we see other people come forward stating similar incidents happening. To make matters worse, Matt's been missing on scene for the better half of almost a year now. His last official YouTube upload was sometime in 2022. The last official post approved in the Swap and Shop was approved on October 17, 2022. The store itself had its last post October 2022, and if you look at the storefront now, there are still active links to buy the Trick or Treat Studios collaboration items that were announced earlier in 2022. If we turn to Instagram, the gap in content's even longer. His last post was in January of 2022. What's even stranger is the long-awaited collaboration between 2 of Australia's biggest Goosebumps fans never came to be. That being, of course, the person we're talking about in question, Matt Vickers Copley, aka the King of Goosebumps 92, and the other large content creator is Goosebumps Aussie Fan, or better known as Bjorn. The collaboration between Matt and Bjorn never came to fruition. In the early stage of 2021, the 2 Goosebumps superfans announced a Halloween event like no other, Escape from Horrorland. Which, if you look back at Matt Vickers Copley's post and content, he definitely was a huge fan of horror, and he definitely had done haunted houses prior. so it only makes sense that he wanted to take his two loves and infuse them into one collaborative effort. This was going to be a Halloween maze constructed by Matt, ran by both him and Bjorn, somewhere in Australia. However, Halloween came and went, and that never happened. Circling back to the page itself, a deal was struck with Trick or Treat Studios. And for those who don't know, Trick or Treat Studios had released a limited line of merchandise in 2016 in collaboration with Scholastic. When Goosebumps had kind of hit that secondary wind and was very popular again, they released a line of limited products, such as the Haunted Mask, a Slappy Ventriloquist dummy, which is posable, vacuum-sealed masks, some pens, socks, and other things. At first, it was mentioned that the Swap and Shop had struck a deal with the artist who had sculpted the Slappy dummy from the Trick or Treat collection. The page was getting a total of 10 Slappy props to sell. Myself, being a huge fan, missed out at the time, and I inquired. When the dolls were available for pre-order, the original price on the Slappy dolls were somewhere close to $300. Nothing super major. However, when I spoke to the Swap and Shop myself, they asked me for a grand total of $2,877.42. So for almost $3,000, I could have a lifelike prop of Slappy crafted for my own personal collection. Myself being somewhat rather thrifty, who built my own collection on primarily thrift books, Goodwill, and trading through the Swap and Shop, could not see paying over 100 times inflation for one item. At the time when I spoke with Matt, which I did have regular conversations with, he did not seem like he was attempting to scam me. The conversation felt genuine, regardless of the insane price. The last time I talked to Matt was in April of 2021. So what happened between April and Christmas of that year must have been massive for his shop to start skimming money out of his trusted customers' pockets. Not much has been said since the reports have been put out. I know at one point in time the person who originally got scammed for over $500 from the Swap and Shop in December had reached out to the Australian police. No update has been posted since. As of right now, Matt Vickers-Copley has still been quiet. I've tried contacting Matt with no luck, finding no response each and every time. So now I ask you, have you bought from the Goosebumps Swap and Shop? Do you think Matt is scamming people? Or did he get hacked? The truth is out there, and one way or another, it will come to light. So I know you're probably asking yourself, why cover this story? It's not my usual kind of content. Well, granted, Goosebumps is, a huge part of my life and this channel. I felt a certain attachment to the Swap and Shop. I made some good friends there, and I actually even helped name it. As I just find it very interesting how I actually helped name the Swap and Shop, which, if you don't believe me, I can show you the video conversation here. Never once was I credited or thanked for that contribution. So, take that with a grain of salt if you will. Let me know your opinion in the comments down below.